Hi, I'm Cassie and welcome to Savvy Sense. I'm really excited to show you guys my budget today. It's a brand new year, so I thought it would be fun to highlight the way I do it. Emily is doing a video how she budgets before we release this one, so check out that video as well because we do things differently. And I don't know about you, but I always love looking at how other people do their budgets and run their numbers to see if I can change something, streamline something in mine, or just learn something new. So make sure to check that out and let's get started. Here is the how I budget at the beginning of every year. So I have my wages in here right now, and that's all that I have for this pay period, which is January. I'm working with January 2022 because budgets are fluid. I have a breakdown. How I do it is every month I do a different breakdown. And so when it gets to be close to February, I will go ahead and put two new tabs for February 2022 breakdown and then February 2022 checks. And I'll talk about this in a little bit. So starting out, we have our wages. Now, this is a mock budget for our family. However, I've done the percentages so that everything that I'm going to be showing you here is the same percentage that we use for our family. It's just not the exact numbers, just to give you an idea. So the first step for budgeting that I do, and I have a zero-based budget, and what that means is down here, this will all equal zero. Zero-based budget means you give every single dollar, every single cent a place in your budget. First thing you want to do is write down all your income. We earn, in this mock budget, we earn $6,500 a month. This is for the entire month of January. Now, if you get the child tax credit, you would put that in here too under other. If you got a bonus, if you received gifts, if you got dividends, if you had tips, all your income would go in here. So for us, it's $6,500 for this month. The next thing is how I do it is I break down all my expenses. Our mortgage is the same every month, and I can explain the actual later. Our phone is sick. So I'm just going to go through, and what I do is I write down all the fixed expenses first. Fixed expenses are any bills that you get that are basically the same every single month. And that is true for our cell phone, our garbage, our internet, our pet insurance, our home security system, Amazon Prime. What I do for Amazon Prime is it's a mini sinking fund here, and I just hold that money in our monthly bills so that when we get charged at the end of the year for that subscription, I just pay for it. Netflix is the same, and one of our kiddos is doing tutoring. That's the same amount of money every month. We have bridge tolls here. So those are all the and our allowances that we do for our kiddos. Next, what I'm going to do is work on variables. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. Basically, what I do is I've been doing this for so long that I kind of just know exactly how much we're spending in gas and everything per month. But if you don't, what you can do is go back to all of your receipts and take an average, and you can do it over 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, and then you can figure out exactly like a good number to start with, and then reevaluate that after your first month and make sure you're allocating enough or make sure you're not allocating too much to that budget. Grocery is the same. This is a variable expense, but this is about how much we spend. And then these other things are just other tabs that we have. Clothing, we put $25 a month in clothing just to have in case expenses come up. For household expenses like miscellaneous items, we have $325. For eating out, we have $100. For school fees, we have $50. I want to highlight this one right now because as somebody who has kids in school, this has been so helpful for us because it seems like every single month something is coming up where we need to pay for a class donation for a party, or a teacher gift comes up, it's their birthday, or something happens. And so this has been a game changer for our family, and I'm really excited that we've started doing that. Now that we have done those expenses, the next thing that we are going to work on is our savings. And I always get excited to work on our savings because that's how we're going to be meeting our goals that we have set for ourselves. First thing I do is I work on my sinking funds, and then I'll come up here and work on this. Now, our retirement fund, I'm going to put a 0 in that right now because that is actually taken out automatically out of our check. We don't even see that. So I don't keep track of it here. I keep track of it over here on this spreadsheet that I'll talk about in a bit. But I'm going to be working on my sinking funds now. Now for this, I'm just going to quickly do this because I will be doing a second video all about sinking funds because we've been using sinking funds for years. I love them. So look for that video if you are curious about sinking funds. So now that we did that, we have our total for sinking funds. Now we're going to come up here and work up here. So this is the fun part. Because we have this spreadsheet, I know that I have $991.27 left because like I said before, I have a zero-based budget and I need to give every single cent a home in my budget. So for our first kiddo, we are done funding that college fund. For our second, we put $100 in there every month. So now we know we have $891.27. So that is going to go to our emergency fund. So now you see everything is zeroed out, which is what we want for a zero-based budget. So going back to this emergency fund, we fund this until we reach 6 months salary, or not salary, but basically 6 months of all of these required efforts. If one of us were to lose our jobs, we wouldn't be funding our vacation house. So we would fund this. And of course we could take out clothing, we could take out eating out, but just as like a general like buffer, it would be nice to have this amount. And then we would add our property tax, our insurance, our car insurance, like stuff that we have to absolutely pay for. So that would be that. So now we know that this is the amount that we have to fund for our permanent savings. And after that, then you have more room to have different savings accounts. You could add more to your sinking funds. What we do is put more towards our vacation house. So I'm going to take this 25,000. I'm going to round up to 26,000 because having more is not going to hurt you. And I'm going to put this here. All right, so now we know that that is our permanent savings goal. Okay, so now that I have done that, we are going to work on what I have named January 2022 checks. And how I do it is we get 2 checks a month, one on the 1st and one on the 15th. And so at that time, when we say we get paid on the 1st, like it'll be January 1st and we'll get paid, then I know where to allocate that money from that paycheck. So what I'm going to do is, this is like the overall category. So total is how much your total income is for that month. So $6,500. The mortgage, I'm just going to come over here and grab all of this stuff. All right, now that I've done that, you just want to make sure this total equals this total, and it does, so we are good. If not, you'd have to go back and figure out what you missed there. So now I'm going to take this snapshot and fill it in here. Paid on the 1st, I want to fully fund my mortgage on that one. So this will be 0 because this plus this needs to equal this. And then I just sort of go through and figure things out. So for gas, what I like to do is do half for each paycheck so that it's getting dispersed. Same with eating out. I like to do half for each of those divided by 2. Clothing and then the allowances. Now, I already have this sort of set up because I've done this so many times, but if I needed to move like allowance up to here, I could totally do that. It's just what you need. So sinking funds, I'm going to put here because mortgage is kind of hefty, it's a big amount, and so I'm going to put the other big amount up here. Oh, the other thing I need to do is do this because basically it's divided into half. We get paid this amount every paycheck. So then we know what our total needs to add to. Okay, so then the monthly bills are here. And it's nice because it just fills it in so you're seeing. Same with household expenses. I like to do half. Now, if I can't, that's fine. If I get to the end and I'm like, oh, I'm over here, then that's fine. See, and like right now, this is a little bit more than this one. So what I'm going to do is all of the school expenses here and put 0 here. I'm going to put 0 here and then that one there. Now they're balancing out a little bit more. And then grocery, I like to do the same thing. I like to do half and half if I can, or as close to half as I can. Okay, great. So I'm here, and all I have left is emergency fund, and I'm not over for either one. So that's awesome. So now what I'll do is I will just use the rest of the amount, and I will fund my emergency fund. So this is just simple math. I'm just doing it in here. Then what I want to do is check this amount plus this amount and make sure it equals over here. And it does. Awesome. Everything is working out. So basically now I know when I get paid on the 1st, this is where I'm going to allocate all of my money for that paycheck. And I'll show you how I do that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I have already created these tabs, and these are brand new for this year. I start my budget over every single year. I will just put like a credit here if I have money left over from say the last year. I'll just put 1-1 and then the remaining balance and then put the credit there. So how I do it is, okay, so say it's the 1st and I'm getting paid. So for my mortgage payment, I'm going to put, because I got paid, so I'm going to put payday under payee, and then for credit, I'm going to put 103,773. So then I know, and then on the 1st, I can go in and mortgage payment, you can put the company in there, and then you're going to debit it, that amount, because that's what you allocated for it right there. So, and so you just do the same thing. So next would be gas. I'm going to put this here. Next would be gas. So let's see. Gas, we're going to do 150. So 1. Oh, there we go. And we're just going to put payday, and we're going to put 150. The next is monthly bills. So now for this one, say 12/31/21, we're going to say roll over amount, and say I have $124 left in that one. So then 772, so payday 772. Now you know you have $896 left in that account. So I do this for every single payday. And then when I'm done, I highlight it so that I know I've paid that. Now allowance I leave sitting in our checking account, so those are not going to get highlighted. And then for emergency savings, I don't have a tab for that because basically I just go and into my checking account, transfer it, because this stuff is stuff that is just sitting in my checking account. And that's the other thing. So the stuff that is sitting in my checking account is all money that is waiting to be spent. We don't have any savings in our checking account. Whatever is savings gets taken right away out, and we pay ourselves into our savings account. So we don't think we have more money than we do. So then I would take this and transfer it online into our permanent savings account, and I would mark it as paid. Same for this. I take it, put it into the 529 account, boom, it's paid for. So then the last thing, I already showed you this. So it's nice because you have a running total. And you would do this for every time. So say on the 15th, you got your internet bill. You would put it in here, do your $58, that's what you allocated, whatever it actually really is. And then this is nice because this is a nice way for you to go back and look back over 3 months and see what, so you can take those averages to make sure you are actually meeting whatever goals you want. The other thing you can do is see how we have actuals here. You can go in, and when you get billed, you can say, okay, I got billed and it was actually $58. And so this is nice because you are actually keeping track of what you spent and what you thought you were going to spend, and then it does the totals for you automatically. So this is really helpful for me. The last thing I want to show you is, so I was talking about here where I have the emergency fund and say I got paid my $537.77. So this is my savings and sinking fund tracker that I use. All of these sinking funds are linked to all of these. They're the same exact. And like I said, when I do my sinking fund video, I can talk more about those. I'm going to focus up here for right now. And here's my permanent savings. So in January, you would want to roll over whatever you have. So say you have $10,000 in there. So you would, and then you would want to add whatever your paycheck is, whatever you're transferring into there. So that would reflect what you actually have in there, and you know how much you are going to need more. So what I like to do is I put $26,000 because that's our goal, and then I subtract this amount. So that way I know I need $15,000 more to meet my goal, and then this will be fully funded, and and then I'll have a lot more money to play around with in my sinking funds and save towards our ultimate goal. I really hope this was helpful for you, and good luck budgeting in 2022. Let me know if you have any comments down in the comment section or any questions. I'm happy to answer anything that you might have, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.